Hello, this is Mr. Hupp, and I want to do a real quick walkthrough of the assignment about the history of civil engineering and architecture. When you open modules, you'll see that there is a unit started here called the History of Civil Engineering and Architecture, and this is what we're working on this week. You can see here it has 4 sections, and then tomorrow is another assignment. So these 4 sections go with this introduction. So let's open this introduction. And this tells you about what this section is and where it's from. And what you're going to do is get this PowerPoint and you're going to go through it. When you read it, be sure you look at the slides and the speaker notes, because the speaker notes include some information. Usually if you open this in PowerPoint, there's a line across the bottom of the slide, and you'll just grab that bottom edge and pull it up, and you can see the notes below the slides. This is all going into a new digital notebook called this name. Every time you start a new section, be sure to insert a section header like this one. So we'll look at that in just a moment. And then generate a note slide for each question or prompt, and you choose how to best communicate the information. So let's look at one of the first assignments. So in section 1, we open this one, and it kind of has those 2 resources we just talked about linked at the top, and then it tells you to make sure you're working in your notebook with this name. These are the prompts. So the first one is define civil engineering and architecture. If it were me, I would set it up like this. Start a notebook, and this is using the template that I made that you can get from the home page. If you click on layout, you'll see the different layouts. The first one we need is the section header 1, so you could put section 1. So now we've got a header in there. You're also going to put a box down here with your name and date. We also want to make sure that the slide numbers are showing. For some reason, the template does not always do that, so we should see a page number right here. Okay, so this is what the section header looks like. Then you add a new slide. This layout lets you put a title and some text. I would suggest using this layout, the one that says title and 2 columns, and then you could put the section at the top, and then put the prompt here, define civil engineering and architecture, and then have your definition for civil engineering, and then a couple of carriage returns, or hit enter a couple of times, and then a definition of architecture. Then you would add the next page. Then you would add the next page and go and get the second prompt. Let's go look at that really quick. Second prompt is compare civil engineering and architecture with an analogy. Compare it to something you're familiar with, for example, sports, restaurants, school, etc., etc. It can be any topic that you want. So how are civil engineering and architecture like whatever you're talking about? So you will develop that. If you want to throw some pictures in to help us understand that, that's fine. Then how did the concept of architecture develop? That sort of thing. So you just go through, answer each one. People notice that a lot of the content that you need for these is buried in the speaker notes, and you are also welcome to get out and Google and do a little bit of reading and research. Don't just copy and paste what you find. Reword it in your own words. Get the ideas and put them in your own words. All right, so then let's just say that you finish that, and the next day you need to do part 2 or section 2, so we're going to click on section 2. Again, we have the introduction and the PowerPoint linked here, and we have different prompts. So in your presentation, let's say you've got all of those answered, so you're going to do a new slide. You're going to change the layout to section header, and then you can put section 2, and then do another slide and do the layout as 2 columns and put the title as section 2. And then you can put the prompt on the left and the answer on the right. One of the things you do need to keep in mind, you do need to have your name and date on all the slides to emulate the notebook. It's not an exact, but it's getting close. So this is my name and date. So what you can do is just real quickly go page down, just copy that, and then paste it in, and it will put it in exactly the same place every time. All right, so you'll respond to those prompts again, get the information from the PowerPoint, or do a little bit of internet research, and you should be good to go. Let me know if there's any more questions, and we will go from there.